Hello, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day. Welcome back to the channel. Just giving you guys a little update on my plants. As you know, I was out of town for about a week. I went to Canada and now I'm back. So we're just going to do a little indoor house plant follow up, and then I'm going to take you out to the balcony and show you how the mini pumpkins are doing. They are doing great. Spoiler alert, but I'll show you how they're doing, as well as a couple of other things out there as well. Later this week, I do plan to do some repotting and propagation of a few plants I already have. So I may post in the middle of the week, or I may just save it for next Sunday. So just to give you a heads up. So let's go ahead and get into the plants that are here now. These two plants are some of my newer plants. Doing great, by the way. So this is the Camille plant. As you can see, she loves the sunlight. So all of the new growth and everything is kind of like pulling towards the window of the sun, but loves the light, growing great from when I got it. And very thick. You can see the trunks there, or the stems, very, very thick. So doing well. They are in self-watering pots. I got this one from, did I get this from Lowe's? Yes, I think it was one of those like last chance, whatever type plants, but very pretty plant. Didn't have one, so I added it to the collection. And next to it is one that I got from Target. This is the white wizard plant, and it had huge leaves, which I love, and they are still coming in. This was a newer leaf, and then you can see there's another one coming in down here. The huge leaves, so they're still unfolding, still coming in nice and big. They also like the light. Looks like there's something else about to form right here. So this plant is building. It's still in the original pot that it was in when I purchased it. So I just top watered that one. Um, Also, we have the um, goodness, croton plant. Couldn't get it out that I've had before. As you can see, lots of new growth here. I relocated it. Used to sit on this table, and then I moved it here, so it's directly in that window, getting that light. And that seemed to work out because there's some new growth down in here where you just see like the kind of plain green leaves, and then there's also some new growth coming in back here. So when I first purchased it, it had a little bit of new growth, but then that kind of broke off and died. And one thing about crotons is that they can be very, very sensitive. And so I think just me repotting it into this pot and, changing temperatures and all of that kind of um, stress it out a little bit. So it did lose the new growth, although the colorful leaves were there originally and they stayed. And even this like plain green leaf, that's a relatively new leaf, which is why it hasn't gotten this color yet. So it's doing quite well. It seems to be happy here. Crotons can be kind of finicky like that. And so once they found somewhere they're happy, they do great. But when they are unhappy, then they don't do so great. So hopefully this one will continue to be happy and grow. Not really anything else new that you haven't seen before. These are my waffle plants here. We have one of the aloes. The other one is sitting here. I just moved it to add some water to the bottom, but I'm actually going to be, it typically is in that empty space down on the bottom rack, but I am going to be repotting that one today. So that's why I just left it over there. But the other aloe one seems to be doing well. It has lots of new pups there. Um, these are golden pothos. They've been there. I want to do some repotting or either get a what do you call it? Pole like that, moss pole to put in here to make it go up. So we'll see how that works out. I may do a little bit of both. And this is my Brazil philodendron plant, aka the Brazil philo. And as you can see, it's growing and doing just great. I think I am going to propagate this one as well. I'm probably going to start with that branch right there because it's kind of reached the peak of where it can go. And so as you can see, it's still trying to grow because there's a little, looks like some form of new growth trying to come right there. So I think that would be a nice branch there to propagate so that it can start its own. And it's still coming all the way down here to the bottom. There it is. I feel like I don't show you guys my peace lily that often. Obviously, this was a bloom that had been there for a while, and it has since. This is what they do. They die off, and then they rebloom. There's a new leaf coming in down there. There's a couple other ones that have recently come in, the lighter leaves and smaller leaves. Those are new growth, but it is growing, even though it may not be blooming as much yet. It is growing and producing new leaves. So um, yeah, so that is the peace lily. And when they once they die like that, you can just trim it off. So this one just needs to be groomed a little bit. The Mandula plant here, Mandula pothos, as you can see, I added a moss pole there because it was starting to go down. These are slow growing, so it's not going to do like a whole lot of growth at one time. I've had this plant for some years, but it is beautiful. I love the coloring of it and everything, so I keep it, and hopefully putting it up like that will help it grow a little bit. Another golden pothos, if you can see, that's a trend. And the last thing I want to check in on, there's another ZZ living his best life, is this particular Chinese evergreen that I got here. It seems to be doing very well. It was one of the rescue plants. It's the same as this one up here, which isn't doing so well, although that one branch is hanging on. I think I'm going to repot that into a different self-watering planter. That's the one that it came in when I purchased it. And they're not my favorite planters, the ones like that. Basically, you lift the basket out with the water at the bottom where that clear hole is that kind of lets you be able to see how much water is left, and then it grows. But I don't like that one as much as I like the ones I got from Amazon, like the ZZ plant is in. So I think I'm going to repot that stem and see what happens. And same with this one. It has grown a little bit. You can see there are like some new leaflets, but I don't know if I want to repot that one or if it's just slow growing or what. But I feel like repotting may help. But if not, this is the same plant. And as you can see, it is thriving in its original container. So I don't know. It may just have been that one was on the struggle bus and the other was not. And I'm trying to see why it's not focusing here. It doesn't want to. There we go. Yeah, so that is the um still a Chinese evergreen. Turn it around so you guys can see the pretty red there. There's the official name, the Aglaonema, aka Chinese evergreen. And they are low light plants, but remember guys, low light does not mean no light. So I like to keep it there. It gets a little light from the Aero Garden, so I think that helps. Raven ZZ still living his best life. I'm considering whether or not I want to repot this one because it's just in its own container, and then I just lift it out and put water in the bottom. But I'm almost curious if putting it in a self-watering planter would do better, because like most of my plants do better in self-watering pots. But since this is a really nice pot, that's why I left it in, and it seems to be working. But I feel like it could do better. But we'll see. Um, Last thing, another ZZ, as you can tell. Also, this was one I got from Aldi. First plant I ever bought from Aldi, the grocery store, and it's doing well. Lots of new growth, as you can see here. And then this is the romaine lettuce. Yes, it needs to be pruned a little bit. There's lots of good lettuce still there, and I think what I'm going to do is clear that one out, and then I'm going to create a fresh garden with cinnamon basil. So we'll see how that works out. Here is where I planted two romaines and two spinach. As you can see, one romaine is doing what it needs to do. The other one isn't doing anything, so I don't know if it's a dud or if it's just growing slower. Sometimes that happens. And then the two spinach, I haven't seen much growth, so I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. So we'll just wait and see. But if nothing else, I got the romaine, and again, these are the ones I use with the grow my own. So this is where I made my own pods. These were not like Aero Garden seeded pods. I put my own seeds in there with using the Aero Garden little fertilizer pod and all that. So could be that or not. So we'll see. Sometimes you win, sometimes you get something, sometimes you don't. So we'll go ahead and head outside and then we'll wrap up. All right, y'all. Here is the balcony. I just had a spray to get some wasp away. This is the cayenne pepper plant, and all of the little flowers represent where it will be a pepper, hopefully. So there's that. Um, the mints are not doing too great in the lemon balm. So we'll see what goes on with that. One of the mint plants are rosemary's okay. There. And this mint plant is doing great. All right, y'all, and this is the mini pumpkins. You can see they are growing quite well. I added the water globes back, even though I'm back home, because I feel like I like the way they water, so I know that the pumpkins are getting some water throughout the day. And also in that third compartment, I finally planted something else, and I planted some peas. So we'll see how they're going. I just planted those yesterday. Thanks for watching. See you next time.